Right, so here we are. We've taken the the DJI Mini 2 SE up. We brought it out here, the countryside, which is on the outskirts of Stevenage, heading up towards sort of Datchworth, a little village outside of Stevenage. We thought we'd bring him up in a different area, have a look over the sort of the field. So we're going to do that. So here we are. We're just going up. This is a bit of countryside between Stevenage and Datchworth. So we thought we would have a nice walk and bring the DJI Mini 2 SE up in this area, just because we've had quite a bit of footage of Stevenage itself, around the town and the houses and stuff like that. So we wanted to take it out to the countryside and give it some nice air time out here. And as you can see, we've chosen a nice area of like barley fields, which is really, really nice, as it gives a complete different sort of contrast of colour to what we normally see with the greens and the buildings. So yeah, me and the lad took this out here. This is the lad flying it here. I flew the drone a bit later on in the video, but I gave him the first sort of attempt, and as you can see, there's a small road there with traffic going up and down it. But that was the only sort of contact we had really with the people. It was all out there in the countryside, and we sat in the field for a while and had a nice relax. It was really, really peaceful and really, really nice. So, and the weather was nice, so we took the drone up. We're running this on 2.7K at 30 frames per second. That is the sort of highest quality you're going to get on the DJI Mini 2 SE. If you want a 4K, then you need to be buying just like the DJI Mini 2 or the DJI Mini 3, like that. But the SE, which stands for the special edition, has a 2.7K camera, not a 4K. But it does what we want it to do. You know, we're not looking for 4K quality. I'm an amateur droner, so I'm just doing it for my own sort of purpose and for my channel. That over there is one of Stevenage cemeteries over there, which is just on the outskirts of Stevenage, and buried in that cemetery is Brian Wilder, who you may know, the actor from Porridge. He's played in Porridge. I'm trying to think of his Barraclough, and he was also Foggy in Last of the Summer Wine. So he's buried there at that cemetery. So Lemonel's panning around nice and slowly, because I prefer that, because you get to see more detail rather than being just quick, and you don't really catch the detail if you're going too quick. And that's Stevenage in the foreground, and we are just down to the right, really, with that tree in the middle of the field. We do end up at there later on in the video, and we do some film footage from there. This is a public footway that we were on, so when you are droning in the countryside, please be aware of that, and please look up and make sure you are in a public area, not somebody's farm land. If you do go to someone's farmland, always go and try and find a farmer and ask for permission to fly your drone in that area, because if it's their land, you are trespassing. But obviously, if it's public land, then obviously you've got a right of way to go there. And we were in the public footway area. And between these fields, there is also another public footway. So we were on that, so we weren't trespassing or doing anything along those lines. We wouldn't do that. So when you are droning, there's certain things you must be aware of. First of all, know your environment. Look up, look for wires, look for telephone wires, look for pylons, look for trees, look for anything you could become a problem, and also think about where you're filming and thinking, am I going to be allowed to film here? Is this private land or is it public footway? Obviously, all air is public. Um, you, you know, although someone might own the farmland, they don't own the air above the land. It's just the ground they own. It's not the above it. So you can fly it over because you're not actually breaking any walls. That's not any it's belonging to anybody. The Emerald here now is going across a field quite low, giving you the scene of sort of like the barley, and then I think he sort of raises the gimbal up to give you like a small reveal of the countryside ahead, which is quite a nice shot. Um, I think it would be more effective if we were a little bit lower to the barley, but I think when you're quite new to droning, you think, oh, I don't want to take that risk. If the propellers hit the barley, you're going to do more damage to your drone than you will to any of the crops there. So he's sort of flying into the middle of the field, and that up ahead will be Datchworth area, which is a small village on the outskirts of Stevenage. Shortly, I will take over the drone, and when we get to the tree in the middle of the field, I take over the drone, and I take it up for a little while. But I thought I'd give you a bit of jibber jabber on this one because the last few videos have just been sort of like with music over the top, which is nice. But sometimes I like to share the experience with you while we were there. And we did enjoy this. It was a lovely day, and the walk was really nice. You know, it was just such a nice walk. And after we finished, we walked down straight ahead down there towards the sort of Stevenage town. There was two really big barley fields here. One was still full of barley, but the other one had already been harvested. So that was quite cool, seeing the different sort of contrasting fields. So all this barley and wheat goes off to make your bread and your cereals and all all the nice things you like to eat. So that's given us a nice sort of view there of the nice sort of sky as well as the sunlight shining down. Here we are, a different clip here. That's why you saw that jolt. We changed different clip. I've put these little clips together as one big sort of clip. There's some tiny little villages around the outsides of Stevenage, like Watton and Aston, and all these sort of places where um, it's be a nice area to live. Probably quite expensive though. I don't know the house prices outside in the outskirts of Stevenage, but they are quite pretty. So I can't see them being sort of like cheap or anything. I do like the sort of contrast with these sort of shadows of the clouds, and you get the sun rays coming through onto the ground there. It's really cool, almost like spotlights. Very, very nice. Yeah, we had a wonderful day this day because we took the drone up on the Hertford Road towards Rugby End, and then we walked up this way towards Datchworth and took it out. The day before, we were around Seamus's Field and around the Shepherdbury Park. So got about 4 sort of videos out of the weekend I was up. We're filming mostly in sort of normal mode and cine mode. This is me now taking off. I go a little bit forward and I turn the camera around to point onto me and the lad, and then I do a maneuver called a droney, which is you go backwards and up. So the camera's sort of like still on you, but it pans away, giving a reveal. So there we are, giving you a little wave. So I go backwards and up, and off we go. There we go. So that's called a droney. And we're at that tree, right in the middle of the field. That footway is a public footway in between the 2 fields. So again, we're not trespassing. We're on the public footway, and we are allowed to obviously take the drone up over the fields because, like I said, whoever owns the field does not own the air above the field. Lovely shadows there of the clouds on the fields. It was quite a sunny day with some sort of clouds, bit of overcast. And we must have done about 30-40 minutes of filming on this day, because now I've got 2 batteries. Because most batteries will last about between 20 to 30 minutes, depending on what you're doing. And then they die off. So on the first lot of drone videos I've done on my channel, we only had 1 battery. So we used to go out for places and film for about 20 minutes, and that's it. That's all you can do. But now we've got 2 batteries, we actually can do it for a lot longer, and it makes it more worthwhile. So say we went to different places to take the drone up so we could enjoy it more. And we did. We had a great time. Really, really cool. At this stage, when I was in the sky, there was a local guy walking past, a local resident, and walking his dog, and he was really interested in the drone, and he was talking, asking me all questions about it. He couldn't see it in the sky, but eventually, when we brought it down, he saw the drone and thought it was a sort of fascinating hobby. He asked, the obvious questions that people ask you: has it got a camera on it? How high can it go? How far can it go? So the answer, obviously, yes, it was definitely got a camera on it, because you wouldn't just fly it for no reason, I would have thought. But height, you're restricted to 120 meters. You cannot go over that. If you go over that, you're over the legal limit. Distance, go as far as the drone can take you. Really, there's no distance on it. So I'm just going to let the rest of this sort of video play out. As you can see, I've sort of run out of things to say, so just want you to enjoy a bit of the views. Thanks for watching this, guys. Yeah, so that was another great flight there today with the DJI Mini 2 SE. Let's close the baby down and we have a quick conclusion. Well, the baby flew really well today. We've took it all out over the countryside here, over in the outskirts of Stevenage. We're near sort of like Watton and sort of Datchworth area. So it's been really well. We've looked over all the sort of barley fields. One field over here where we saw the barley. This field behind me has already been harvested, and it's really cool. Seen some members of the public that have been quite interested in what we're doing and watched us drone, and they've enjoyed that too. So it's been a great droning session. If you've enjoyed this, please stay tuned for some other drone videos.